Hello. Apparently this is live now. Oh, somebody else is joining. Yes. Today we're here for another one of these Club 52 monthly games. Well, we say monthly; they're not always monthly. So I'm going to be
Right,
I'm going to be a very nervous host today. I was going to just invite people in, but it was just me and Scott. So, but we can get John back in as well. He's here now.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, hello.
History.
I'm like that
Howdy
bad smile
doody.
doesn't go away.
So yes, the game we're here to talk about today is Voodoo Vince, either on the original Xbox or the remaster. So I've taken a leaf out of your book, John. I have the trailer for it here, which we can watch first. So hopefully this is going to work. If not, I've buggered it up. But it's one for the remaster because the one on the original Xbox was just dreadful quality on YouTube. So let's go for it. Okay.
Didn't even realise.
You can see it. Why it didn't sell too well.
Yeah, I didn't realise the remake had been out that long. Actually.
Yeah, I was about to say Raid 2017.
Yeah, wow. I thought it was quite a modern thing. I had to look it up because the original came out in like 2003. So I thought, okay, it's got to have been like, I don't know, a couple of years ago. Yeah, 2017 remastered by the same people. But I did learn why it's not backwards compatible. Apparently, it's due to the game using some kind of custom code that Microsoft wouldn't allow them to use on the emulator.
Yeah, so I tried on my 360 and my one before we knew that and couldn't get it to work. I didn't know if it was my disc, but then yeah, obviously that came to light that it's not backwards compatible, which is pretty gutting, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that might force them to do the remaster then, because they couldn't use the backwards compatibility program.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, it got me to play it, so.
I think you were the first one to play and finish it, weren't you, John?
Yeah, I mean, I funny enough I was, because so I hosted the previous stream, and then the game got picked, and I think I may have actually put up that demo as well, just so that people were like, what the hell is Voodoo Vince? And then I wishlisted it on Steam, and I was like, okay, hopefully before today it will go on sale and I'll buy it. And then I was thinking, well, so I'm doing an RPG challenge, but before I start work and just after I finish work, I normally have like, say, quarter, half an hour. And if I'm at my PC, I could normally knock out some gaming time. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do an RPG because of save points. So I was like, fuck, do I start something else, or do I just dive in, buy Voodoo Vince at the full price and just get on with it? And that's what I did, hence being the first one to beat it, because I just jumped straight in because I happened to be in between games to play on the PC at that time. So yeah, so
that answers one question. What versions do people play? I played the remaster. You played the remaster. I'm pretty sure Scott went OG.
Yeah, OG. Gotta love that OG. It did take me a while to get onto it because I don't actually have any of my more retro consoles set up at the minute due to sorting out the game room, whatever. But I did manage to get a corner of my game room set up to get the OG Xbox back out onto a smaller TV, and I had a nice little nook in my game room on a beanbag on the floor, and it was actually really enjoyable playing it that way. It was kind of more old school, and just being surrounded by my games again, because I don't actually game in my game room anymore. So it was just nice to get back in there and play it, and getting the time I did to play on it while the dog was asleep on his mat in a nice little dark corner was really enjoyable. And it's made me think about changing my game room around a bit more to have a little retro corner in that room so I can play more retro games. But yeah, played on the OG, so it'll be interesting to compare our notes on the OG and the remaster. So at least we've got that.
I own it on this. This is the reason why I originally chucked this into the wheel, because I thought I've had this for ages. I'll give it a go.
That was about to be my question. Why did you pick it?
Yeah, I've had the game for ages. I actually it's one I got off Daz Cahoon's Deloro way back when he was selling off his Xbox stuff, and I bought a little bundle off him, and this was one of them, and not played it. So it was nice to actually play an OG game that I've not actually played.
Well, basically, I thought we didn't have many OG games ever being picked for the wheel. But the kind of games I like are platformers. I thought is a bit of an odd one that I've heard good things about, but no one seems to have played it. So we'll chuck it in. And I played the remaster simply because I wanted the achievements.
That's a discussion I'll come on to when I give my things. Is the experience I had with and without playing with achievements. It was interesting.
I was going to say, to be honest, I don't think it would make that much difference with or without achievements. There is a difference in the remake, which I will talk about at the end, that they changed. But originally, when it launched, it was this exact same game, apparently. They kept it down to the same gameplay and everything. The only thing they changed was a couple of textures and a couple of bits of audio because they'd lost them or something. So it shouldn't really have much difference apart from that one thing. So.
I mean, because I was about to say, like, with the trailer where it was just the music. I like the music of the game. We'll probably get onto that later. But it's just, I found it odd that there was completely no voiceover, no explanation of what this game is or anything. It just seemed a bit odd. It's just like showing gameplay footage, which I guess in a way is probably good because you see what the game's like. But it just seemed odd to me.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think it would, because it is quite a story-driven game. If you think about it, you are working towards something and stuff happening.
Yeah, like, I mean, even if you just get someone in to do a voiceover, like, like, for those who don't know, the whole point of the game, or would you like to explain it, Ross, before I do?
You can explain it. You're good at that kind of thing.
I mean, because the fact that the demo doesn't explain why, so we might as well, because what the hell is Voodoo Vince? And so you are a voodoo doll, shocking, and your mistress, creator, who is a... so do they call her a witch or a shaman? Or to make sure I can get the term right, they actually use it in the game.
Like a priestess or something.
Yeah, so she has so the game is set in like southern like America, like think of like Louisiana, that kind of area. And so she's been kidnapped by someone who wants the voodoo magic. And as she's being kidnapped, some gets knocked on you, I think. So the voodoo dust, and you come to life. And I think even it says in the intro that you're her third favorite or useful voodoo doll. So it's like not even the first, you just happen to be the one that got brought to life. And the whole point is that you're rescuing this woman from the kidnappers, and that's what leads you on this adventure to go and find her. So
yeah, she kind of has I don't know, is it telepathic? She speaks to you in your mind, but obviously not kind of directly or anything like that. So you are in contact with her, and she's telling you, giving you instructions of kind of what to do, where to go, who you need to save and help. Because obviously you help a lot of people throughout the game. You're not just saving she refers to her as a boss a lot.
Yeah.
So you're trying to save Madame Charlemagne. Her name
is Lady Charlemagne or Charlemagne.
Yeah. Obviously throughout you're doing little almost quests for other random NPCs and characters to get through your levels and whatever you like that.
Yeah, something I did find odd about it, because while you're a voodoo doll, the idea is you can build up powers to hurt yourself in different ways, which kills enemies around you, can't you? But at the beginning of the game, it says you can't die, but only from like enemies which have got powers or something. But you can like die from falling down pits and stuff.
That is the only way I died in the game. constantly falling off the map. And the thing that killed me the most was the double jump.
Yeah.
The double jump in the, I don't know what the remake site, but in the OG, the double jump. There are two types of gamers when it comes to double jumping. Those who double jump, so jump and jump instantly again, and those who jump, wait a few seconds, and then jump. Now, if you do that in this game, it doesn't work. You have to instantly double jump, because a few seconds late, and the second double jump doesn't work, and you just plummet. And I died so much from that, because I'm the double, I'm the jump.
See, I didn't have much issues with that, because I never like double jump. I would jump, use the spin to get further, then jump out of that.
Okay.
So I didn't have too much issues with it.
In the end, it was like I was double jumping and then doing the hover to hover onto a platform, so I could direct myself where I wanted to be. But yeah, every time the double jump, that was the only thing that kept killing me, is just falling off platforms or falling into pits because of that.
I'm gonna have to say, for an old platformer, that hover mechanic was genuinely really good.
Yeah.
That really let you line up like where you're gonna land, because so many things like back in that day, you just miss things.
I wonder if that was deliberate because of platformers of the time having that kind of like difficulty of 3D, trying to make sure you land okay.
They tried all different things, didn't they? I think that works better than, say, like Sly Cooper. It has like highlighted bits that it like links to, doesn't it? Okay. I like the idea. This gives you more control of just where you're exactly going to land,
specifically where you're
going to spin. Thin platforms that you have to jump on as well. Yeah, so it does help with that.
There's some big areas with just bottomless pits. Like,
and if finally, obviously, when you get close to jumping onto a ledge or whatever, sometimes he would grab the ledge and jump up. Other times he just wouldn't, and that would annoy the hell out of me as well. That would also kill me, because he'd get to the edge of the ledge and he would just hit it and then just fall down.
The opposite of that was annoying me, was the fact if you got too close to an edge, you'd accidentally just cling on and fall.
Yeah, you're trying to jump off. Just grabbed it.
Go down, you idiot.
Yeah. Overall, when it comes to like the presentation of the game, what do you think of it? Because to me, it reminded me of games like Psychonauts or something, with like it has a bit of a Tim Burton kind of aesthetic as well. I think it was a really, for the time, like an interesting looking game.
I thought, it was, because we got getting past the era of like, the mascot platformer, so I guess that was like things like Psychonauts and that. This was like the last remnants of before the industry went, no, we don't want those kind of mascots anymore. But I really liked it. I thought I had great fun with it and enjoyed like the presentation it was trying to give. I did think a lot of Psychonauts, like you said, when I was playing it. And don't get me wrong, like the gameplay is not identical. You don't have like the same powers or anything. But I thought, like, if you were to have bought this maybe straight after Psychonauts back in the day, but to play it now, I mean, I joked in our 52 chat that it's a pity that this got picked and then immediately Astrobot got released, and it's just like, oh, there's gonna be people who are gonna play Astrobot because it's just been released, and then play Voodoo Vince and go, what the fuck is this platforming? Like, unfair. So
I've beat Voodoo Vince, but I haven't beat Astrobot yet, and I started Astrobot before.
Okay. I mean, well, you had to host the stream, so you had to get it done.
I had to, didn't I? No. Actually, to be honest, it's one of those games that like I was actually looking forward to playing when I came back to it, like after work. I like the fact that it was set out in very small chunks as well.
Yeah.
Like the levels, it's like sections in it rather than each checkpoint being like each checkpoint feels like a level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's how I played it. It's in sections, or once I've done a boss, I'd leave it there for a bit and then come back to it the next time and probably get to the next boss. It made it a lot easier for me to play that way. But it still held up on the OG. Playing on the OG, it still looked great. But
the output of the OG Xbox still looks pretty good. Most stuff, so I imagine there isn't much difference between that and the remaster.
I mean, I think do you want to talk about like what the differences are between the OG and the remaster, or should we say that for later?
We'll save that to the end, because there's only one small bit which I can think of.
Well, I mean, because I was going to say, like, playing the remaster, it definitely eked out more time from me, because I did decide to go for all achievements, because they're not necessarily difficult to get because it's a collectathon. if you were like getting all of them in a level before you move on, then it's not, you're not having to go back and like do loads, is what I'm trying to say. So you can get the 100% or the, I would say platinum, but this isn't a Sony game, so relatively easily. But it did get more hours out of me because of the fact that you were trying to get all the collectibles as you went along, and then things like that, compared to I think, Scott, you had like not that many voodoo skull. You didn't get many of the purple pinky skulls, I think, through the game. Was that right, or am I thinking of someone else?
I think you probably think someone else. The skulls, I actually only missed one skull and one blue health pip.
Okay. No, there was someone else who had like.
What I was going to say about the achievement things. I was still almost playing it like I was getting achievements. But that's the way I play games anyway, especially collectible things. I like to collect everything that's in a game, and I was purposely doing that until the purple skull I didn't get was winding me up, so I left it. I thought I'd go back for it, and it just didn't end up going back to it. But on that, I also found you really didn't need to. Like the purple skulls, which obviously give you your voodoo powers, the more skulls you've got, the more powers you can use, obviously killing enemies. And it's only really the standard little enemies that you can use that on. You can't use it on the bosses. It doesn't work. No. And the combat, it really isn't that hard, obviously, because once you get a group of enemies and you use your voodoo power, it pretty much kills all enemies in that area in one go anyway. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't use it that much. Only a few times. I didn't even see, because I did get all of the little purple voodoo powers that you can collect. You know, it gives you each a different kill. I don't think I even seen them all. No. I think that is random as well. Like when you first pick it up, your first kill will be that,
the one you have,
that ability. But then after that, if you use it again, it just picks a random way to kill yourself. And I seem to be getting the same ones quite a lot, and there was quite a few that just didn't pop up, and I didn't get to see them. But there were some really interesting ones.
The achievements is one of the only reasons you want to get all those skulls. Not because there's an achievement for them, there is, but there's an achievement for killing 1,000 enemies with voodoo powers. Right. So the more of the skulls you've got that you can use, the better it is, because there's a bit of the game where you can just seriously grind it out. But that's the only reason I'd see why you'd want to get all of them. Use that many.
Same with the health thing. Like I didn't. And obviously, there's a point to getting the health, and you get more health. But at the same point, once you die, you come back with 3 hearts anyway, and you only really start from that area. And there was only a couple of areas where, once you do die, it was annoying to get back to. One being the fairground bit, trying to get back to the big wheel. That did my head in a few times. But most of the time, it was quicker to die and respawn than it was to just get back to where you were trying to get back to.
That's something I thought they could have changed in the remaster, because it still had a live system. It's a game that I couldn't work out why it even had a live system. When you run out of lives, you just press continue and start from where you were again.
Exactly.
I did see. So earlier in the game, there was it was the second, not second level, but second area of the game, and there was a bit where you had to go across. It was platforming across some water with like boxes going along back and forth. This was in the underground area, and so I actually found that bit, because of the timing of platforming side. I mean, don't get me wrong, it didn't take me actually that long, but at the time I was like, and so I was kind of bleeding lives. And then when you get like a bit further on, then I did actually lose my last life. And then, but you start back at the entrance of that level, versus if you just died, where you get put back to where you, I think, where you died, if that makes sense. So I think the live system gives you, if you lose all of them, it inconveniences you, because if you were most of the way through a level, you were then back at the beginning, versus if you lost a life, you wouldn't have lost progress, if that makes sense.
But the levels are so small.
It's just
apart from the last couple of it.
I mean, like the fairground, like there's a lot of
the only other point where that was really annoying, where to die and lose your life to start again, was once you're right at the end of the game, once you're
the robot,
and you're trying to get to the top, but I nearly threw my pad.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I couldn't even work out where you were supposed to go to climb the inside of that robot.
And that's what I put in the chat, like this fucking robot. It really was doing my head in. Like, and it was
more
because of the double jump, and I was just dying, and it's like, yeah, this is not good.
Mine was more just learning where to go, and then I trial and error everything. And when I knew where else to go, it was really easy.
Yeah.
But like, it's there's no real nothing that draws you the way you're supposed to go. Like, there's bits you're swinging across an open pit, aren't you?
Yeah.
One of the bits you've got to jump to like a context sensitive bit down the bottom. But it's so far away that you wouldn't have expected that to be where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
I think the whole game, the platforming's like great in it until the last section of the game, and it just kind of falls apart.
Well, because speaking of like the lives system again, like the outside of the robot when you're climbing up it. So I don't know if you two count this or not, but when I was first climbing it, and then if I messed up one of the jumps, you know, where you have to swing and then go along the pillars on the outside, but with the hands like going down, like if you get knocked off, you can just like, you know, grab, you know, do the
hover and grab again whip.
And then like hovering, but then you hover down to the very bottom. Whereas if you let yourself die, you actually respawn like a lot further up the robot, like where you kind of fire from. So it's like that risk reward of, do you risk losing your lives because you might want them as you further along up the robot, or do you have a waste of time dropping down all that way and then having to go back up again? It's just because that's what I was doing initially, and I was like, I can't keep doing this over and over again.
Yeah, there's a few frustrating parts in the game. There were some bits that they put in which was genuinely useful, though. Yeah. Like the fact that when you get the vision to be able to see where the collectibles that was amazing. Like, that changed the game.
To put in perspective, so there's a power up you get as part of the game, and halfway through, which is pretty much like a vision, so that you can see all of the collectibles in the level, so that you know you can just make a beeline for them. Great. And the reason I say put in perspective, Psychonauts 2, which was released 3 years ago, they add that as a additional update post-game because people were struggling to find all the collectibles in that game. And this is a game from OG Xbox era, which came out at the same time as the first Psychonauts, and yet the sequel to Psychonauts, modern release, was it was like an afterthought because people were complaining. So, hey, Paul.
How do you, Paul?
Evening.
We'll let you just give us a quick bit about what you thought of the game since you've joined in.
Who me?
Yeah.
So I haven't played a lot of it, but I've from what I've played, I really enjoyed it. Thought it was great. Very, very good platformer. Would have been a better what's the flagship than Blinks, in my opinion.
Another one I need to play, actually.
I played Blinks. I thought it started to get too convoluted. So.
It's very meh. No, I enjoyed what I played of it.
Where did you get to then, Paul? Do you remember?
So I was just I started again today, just after you hit the laboratory.
The second area.
No, I'd done a couple of the areas in that space, but yeah.
Where you got to make the balloon.
Yeah, I think I got 2 or 3 of the bits of the balloon, and then.
I think that's the longest part of the game, or one of the longest missions, isn't it?
Yeah.
The balloon.
But, in my defense, though, I have been playing Zelda Echoes, so these games, whilst they're good, they're the other things creep in.
Especially the Microsoft man, though. You can't deflect Nintendo whilst this is going on.
Incidentally, though, Scott, that jumper is amazing.
Yeah, I needed something that was green but also warm because it's bloody freezing in it. It's like a little fleece thing. Yeah, it's quite comfortable.
So, Paul, were you playing the OG or were you playing the remaster?
Remaster. Whilst I can play the OG, I'll probably pull it off the shelf.
I'd say it's an early on, so you must have it. I think you're going through.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, I've got most of not most of the big hitters, but I've got most of the big hitters, but not the big hitters on the OG. So the ones that are really expensive, I've not got yet. And whether I will buy them or not, I don't know. But yeah, I've got it. But the remaster, I just played the remaster. It was so much easier.
I mean, I don't know if you heard earlier on or if you were aware, like the OG is not part of the backwards compatibility program. So unless if you had your OG plugged in, you wouldn't be able to play it.
Yeah, I mean, my OG's plugged in. I've got 2 OGs plugged in. I mean, I've got one that one's coin ops and one is just a full on full hard drive, full Xbox.
But the idea of it being like an OG like exclusive, do you think this would have done better if it wasn't an Xbox game? Like, because I imagine more people have played weirder like PS2 platformers. Like the one that comes to mind is Whiplash. If anyone's ever played that,
And again, another one I've got and not played.
that's an incredibly strange game. Sorry?
Whiplash the rabbit one.
Where it's a fox and a rabbit chained together, and you have to escape a animal testing facility.
Plays on the shelf.
It kind of reminds me of that, but that's way jankier than this is. But,
I hope that is on the backwards compatibility program.
Weird game that. Yeah, the rabbit's got lipstick and stuff on it.
I do agree, Ross. I think if this wasn't an Xbox exclusive, I think it would have done a lot better.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a solid title.
Would it be a similar situation to Psychonauts, where because it was cross-platform, it got talked about a lot more, like after release, then getting the remaster it did when it did? Because we said at the very beginning, Paul, after the demo, it said the remaster was released in 2017, and we all went, 2017? We had no idea it came out.
So I can see moving forward a lot of those Double Fine Studios original games being cross-platform. I have no inside information before I even say this, so I'm led to believe that the guys at Double Fine are not, based on what I've seen in the media, are not impressed that a lot of that Double Fine stuff is kept exclusive, and they would like it. They think it will sell more if it wasn't exclusive. So I've got a feeling we will see all of the Double Fine stuff start. So the next tranche of Xbox exclusives will become cross-platform.
It's an odd thing you say that, because like to me, whenever I think of like the first Psychonauts, to me that was an Xbox game, even though it wasn't. It was on PlayStation and stuff. But I think it's just because it played better on Xbox, and it's where I originally played it. But it's I don't know. In my mind, that's an Xbox game. And I didn't play that much OG Xbox growing up. I had it for a bit, sold it, and went back to a PS2.
I mean, I've always seen it as an original Xbox game. I mean, for me, the original Xbox game was the WWE, WWF Raw, as it was. That's why I bought an Xbox. So,
there's only you, Paul, that didn't finish it, wasn't it?
I've just been mad busy at work, so that's why I haven't finished it.
That's fair.
But you were saying, Paul?
So sorry, Ross was saying I'm the only one that's not finished it, and
Scott has finished it. I'm thinking of someone else. Sorry, terrible night's sleep last night.
Trying to think who else played it and didn't finish it. Obviously, Eddie played it for about 10 seconds.
Gordon hasn't beaten it, I don't think.
I think Gordon has played a bit. Just put in the comments, Gordon.
I have a feeling he might have finished
it a bit.
I don't think Jim played it and finished it.
Dylan didn't play it.
Did not play it.
I thought Gordon finished it. I swear I remember in the group I see him putting an image of the end screen.
Because I thought he was on the stretch of like 11 days working without a break. So
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
did-
he's on. He's just finished that, hasn't he? He's off now for the next few days.
So from memory, he wasn't going to get finished during that period of time. But again, I'm struggling to remember who has or hasn't finished the game at the moment. So
I'll have a quick look back through the pictures, but
I
there's two
do-
pictures up in that group.
I do think between us, we should possibly select a small game that we should all play during the live stream that we're going to be part of. And just something short, but that everybody can play and complete whilst other people are playing other things.
And for those who've been living under a rock, Gordon, Gib A4 Gaming, is arranging a 24-hour live stream for charity, which you should definitely check out and has been shared by all the channels on here in the past. So happening in November, I believe, 2nd, 3rd?
3rd to the 4th, is it?
It starts in the
And
second.
like
And maybe somebody can link to the announcement videos in the chat so everyone can see. Sorry, shilling.
Oh no, you're shelling for a good cause though.
Maybe Gordon could share it, given he's in the chat.
I mean, I'm assuming everyone's watching has probably already heard of it. It's just, you never know. So
just seeing Dylan's comment, not to directly answer that because I can't really think, and we've spoke a little bit on it. Other parts of the game, obviously, it's not just a platformer. There are sections of the game where you do fun, almost mini games, such as the riding down the lines, and you have to flick between the lines to do stuff. There's the riding on the in the oh my god,
the
little car thing,
and there's the
the
boat
dodging.
and the
Yeah, it's like the bumper car. There's the
bit where you're
plane through the bit of the pipes.
I
I
would
will say,
argue. I mean, you could argue the bit where you've got to go and collect different things to go into different places in that town.
do you mean the shopping bit?
Yeah, so that for me harks back to or takes ideas from Majora's Mask because of where you have to change the time.
I see that.
also
So-
the fact that you could do different things. If like you played with the achievements, there was bits for doing certain stuff like going in all the shops. But you'd have to make sure that you took the money into different things. Like you can take the money into the whorehouse instead of getting kicked out. You get covered in
burlesque, you know.
Yeah,
burlesque show.
I tried all of them because I didn't really know what I was doing, so I ended up trying them all anyway.
I mean,
Yeah, like if you play the trumpet bad for the guy, there was an achievement for that and stuff. And yeah, it was just that was actually genuinely quite cool. And I kind of like the fact that when you were changing the time, you had to jump over the little hour person that came out. That was good fun. It's weird things like that, like the bosses in it. Some of them were genuinely creative. Like the one where you're on the back of a rat, and you have to keep jumping over the things and dodging stuff. It was just weird.
Because you said earlier on, like you can't use your voodoo powers for the bosses because the bosses don't have, a traditional health bar that you have to punch down. It is you have to do like environmental damage in the way,
kill. Kill on yourself, kind of thing. Yeah, you don't.
You need to realise what to do with that dolly one though. I was running around that little boy town forever.
Together. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, you have to set up. You have to go around and set different like trains off, and you have to run to like points on the map, so that both trains smash into you in the sides and they cause like mega damage. Stuff like that. That's genuinely interesting. Like you don't see stuff like that.
I mean, we probably
It'd be interesting. What's everybody's the ones that you witnessed? What are your favorite kind of kill animations that you do on yourself?
Oh, the mob, like hit.
Oh, the hit mob one.
Yeah.
Or a car. It's like a 50s car pulls up, Tommy puts you down, and then obviously it kills everyone around. That was pretty good. The one I got the most was the
where he gets decapitated.
laxative. And
the toilet comes down.
Everyone. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
For me, the chainsaw one is I've not seen more, but the one where you saw yourself into bits is amazing.
Some of them are proper random, but like
the whole how to put it, the whole attitude of the game is I think it's fantastic. It's there's a whole it's got humour to it, which is you probably wouldn't have seen that much humour around that time. Maybe you would have done from Duke Nukem, but there wasn't
I was
many
gonna say
games.
the humour in the game was pretty good, and obviously he references. It's almost like he's talking to you, the player, as well, and he's getting annoyed with game kind of things that you do in games. I'm trying to think of the word.
But he feels like you, doesn't he? And it's like you need to go get some collectibles. He's like, not again. Like that kind of thing.
Really? Yeah, just he's getting annoyed with the whole premise of it as well. And it's
very, very Deadpool-esque.
Yeah.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Well, I don't want to ruin this, so I won't actually say what it is, but Ross and Scott, you remember, like, when you actually complete the balloon section and you leave with the balloon, what happens then, if you remember? I don't want to ruin it for Paul.
Well, you can ruin it for me. I'm not bothered. I'm going to play it anyway, but if you want to talk about it, carry on.
You might have to jog my memory. I can't remember.
Well, when you're in the hot air balloon with the professor, and it's like, oh, we're too overloaded with weight, and then it does like a visual of what is in the balloon, and then she jettisons you instead.
So you out, there's just all this crap in the balloon that they don't need. Just weighing it down, and just kicks you out.
Yeah. So things like that, the humour.
I've just seen Gordon's comment. I remember him saying now, actually, he got to the graveyard area.
That was it.
Where obviously you have to get the ghosts into their crypts. And
because there's that's an achievement as well.
On the achievement wise, you've got to do that without using any voodoo powers.
Correct. That was my second attempt.
For anybody who's watching it who's not played it, it's not a long game. I don't believe. I mean, even with the remake, it's not. It's maybe 6 hours. You can probably do it in if you rush through it. If you want to.
Yeah, if you don't go for the collectibles, you can run through it really quick. I did it in 9 hours, but again, I was
similar
collectibles and only missed a couple. But yeah, the collectibles aren't essential to completing the game, like we've discussed. You can get through it a lot quicker without doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, the robot at the end, outside and inside, did also add like maybe 2 hours to my total time, just because of all the platforming.
Yeah, that is the end of the game. Is the only point where it falls apart. I will mention. I'll mention now what it is at the end of the game, which is different than the other ones, because we're saying about getting collectibles and everything.
Are you controlling the wheel, Ross, tonight?
Yeah, I'll do the wheel. Yeah.
So Dylan's saying he's not put something forward. I reckon if he puts it in the comments now, you could probably add it, and then
you can drop it in the comments. I'll add it now.
So for those who are familiar with the format of this series, we do the wheel that we've all picked games previously, but we agreed that for Halloween, we will put forward one game for Halloween, a horror wheel, and then I'll get picked. But that's just a one-off for this. Rather,
but Bloodborne should never be picked ever. So we
re-roll. Come out of this wheel.
We re-roll when Bloodborne comes up.
I have no way of playing Bloodborne, so if that gets picked, I have a month off. So
someone's emulated it for PC.
You just have to buy a PS4 in the game.
I'm pretty sure you can play it. I'm pretty sure can you not buy it on PC now?
Nope, still locked.
So it's still just PlayStation.
Yeah, because it's not being remastered for PS5 even. It's just still PS4.
Sony scumbag bastards.
That's a good game.
What's going on?
I'm glad he picked that because it's one I need to play. So
I've never actually finished the first one.
I'm just hoping Bloodborne does not appear.
Yeah, and anything but that I'll play.
But that will happen at the end of the show.
I was going to say, when you say the Voodoo Vince, everything's really easy to get the achievements and that. It doesn't actually. This is an error I found in it. When you get to the end of the game, there is a point of no return on the original version. Once you get inside the robot, you can't get back out. But on the remaster, they put in an update which allows you to get one of the little fast travel stations so you can get back out and do everything.
Oh yeah, I remember that inside the robot.
I went looking for one of them actually to see if I could go back and get the collectibles, and that's obviously why I left them, is because there is no way of getting out.
So they must have realised, especially if they're doing the achievements,
Yeah, which I only realised this because I originally played it on the PC because it's Xbox Play Anywhere. So I thought, I'll play it on the PC when I'm up here at night, do a few levels, then I go off and I can do some downstairs. I got to the end of it and I could not get out of that area. They have not updated the PC version to have the way back out in the remaster.
Wait,
So
sorry, which was this on Steam or was this via like?
This is on like the Microsoft Store.
Because
like Xbox for Windows, basically.
Because I remember because I played the Steam port, and I'm almost certain that inside.
Oh yeah, they've done it on there. But if you play it on the Xbox version on the PC, you can't get back out.
Microsoft, what can you do?
So yeah, I got to the end and I was getting a bit pissed off, thinking I might not be able to beat all the achievements and start again. But no, I just downloaded it on the Xbox and reloaded my save, and I could do it from there. So
sorry, I'm just aghast that it's
incredibly weird, isn't it?
So first things first. Alan can shut up because he's not played a game in the 52 challenge all year. Based on his comment that just there. But if he wants to put that forward, he's got to catch up. He's got to play 52 games in the next few months. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's I haven't got as far as you guys, so I don't know. But I've got it. I really enjoyed this game, and I've got it on my Steam wish list. So it'll be one when it gets a decent discount on my PC as well.
Yeah, it's like I never. Sometimes when you're in a game and you think, oh, you've got to keep like just plugging away at it because you eventually beat it. No, I wanted to come back and carry on playing it, like because I said before at the beginning, like I was playing this before and after work, after dog walk, before starting work, and after work before doing the dog walk, and it's just like like had to keep checking the timer just to see like, I can get a bit more, because I look forward. I enjoyed playing this game. It's like I haven't played like a collectathon in ages, and it's just like, yes, I mean, I'm all here for this.
Yeah, I was actually playing
the
new Horizon game, and I stopped playing it completely and just sat and focused on this and got it done. It was a really enjoyable game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ross is the king of the collectathon games, and so he must have been loving this.
Genuinely, I loved it, every second of it. Well, apart from the last boss, that's it. Which isn't hard, just annoying. It's broken. Which just makes me realise that they're not lying when they said that they hadn't changed any of the platforming.
One thing I forgot to mention earlier on is that for people who haven't played the game, so because you are a voodoo doll, the voodoo powers is that whatever a special attack is, you are doing it to yourself to inflict it upon all the enemies around you. That's how the psychic powers work. Otherwise, you do just punch and kick things. There are very few moves in this game, so when we're getting all these unlocks, it's not extra abilities. It's still just the same voodoo power. It's just a different animation. So technically, except for the achievement, or because you get bored of seeing the same animation over and over again, there's not necessarily a reason to collect those, unless if you want to collect them, I guess. So
talk about the moves and stuff. Like, did you find that the standard enemies have way more health than you'd imagine in this type of game?
If you're just trying to punch them.
Yeah, if you do your spin attack on them, it's like 5 hits per standard enemy and 3 punches, I think it is. I think the idea is that you can keep doing it to build up more. Like,
so you get more of the orb.
It was these guys that were swine. These bloody gator guys. It took ages to take down if you were just trying to punch them.
There's an achievement for taking one down without using a psychic power.
I found the best way was to do the jump and do the down headbutt slam attack.
There's an achievement for doing that from a stupid height.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's for doing it from like over 50 meters or something, which is odd that the game tracks how far down you're falling from a headbutt.
The voice acting in this is really good as well. I found.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really good.
It gave me vibes of like Gex in a way. Like,
yeah, but not quite Leslie Phillips. But yeah,
I'm talking American Gex. Like,
I've never played American Gex, so I don't know.
Yeah, they changed it's more like, well, it's just uber American.
Give me British Gex any day of the week then.
Well,
Just reading the facts, there's over 30 levels. Obviously, loads of mini games. The other one we missed out was the racing, the around the bayou
oh yeah.
on the little
I
thing.
enjoyed that.
That did
It
take me a couple of
controlled
times.
well.
I kept clipping stuff, and like, if you hit something, the guy you're racing just flies ahead. You know, you have to try and find all the shortcuts and stuff. But it was an interesting little mini racing game.
They tried to mix
Oh,
things
right,
up.
that
So
one.
there's over 25 different voodoo attacks. I think I've probably seen about 10, even though I collected them all. Like I said, it wasn't. You can't choose the ones that you're doing. It is random.
I did like the random nature of it. It kept it a bit like, I don't know.
Because initially I was like looking through the menus thinking, how do I pick the different, attacks, because I'd collected a few and then it's like, I thought they actually were different in some way besides the animations. I was like, how do I switch back? And then until I realized I was being an idiot and that there's just no difference whatsoever.
How often did you use the voodoo attacks in the game? Because I did most of the game like punching and spinning. Like only when I knew that I needed to get the achievement.
The only time I did it is when I could get a lot of enemies near
Yeah.
me. If I was getting overwhelmed, then I'd use it. And again, I was kind of doing that again in almost an achievement sense. I had no idea what the achievements are for the game. I've not looked at them. But I was thinking, if I can get 10, 15 people in one, then that's a person.
There is one for that.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's an achievement for 13 in a thing, I think.
That's pretty much all I did with the levels I played was just spin.
If you do that, don't do the spin. If you do just the punching, you generate more orbs out of the enemies. Found that as well. So if you want to
I think the spin was supposed to be just to knock like large groups of people back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Crowd control.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I used the spin a lot. In my mind, I was playing Jack and Daxter.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, yeah. Another great series.
Would you have wanted to see a sequel to this though? Because they're in the remaster. There's lots of things that hint to it. Like there's a thing saying, what's his name?
The Tombstone.
Yeah, it's like you should have signed off on the sequel for this. And stuff.
Phil Spencer should have signed off on the remake. I remember it now. I haven't seen the end of it, but for me, I honestly think. I don't know the year this came out, so I can't say for definite. But out of the flagship things that have been on Xbox, I mean, you can't argue against Master Chief. But considering Blinks was supposed to be the mascot
of Microsoft,
I think Voodoo Vince would have been a better mascot myself.
2003, I just looked on the back, but I think Ross said that earlier.
Yeah.
So I do think this would have been a better mascot, but Master Chief became and still is the Xbox mascot.
Yeah.
Do you think this has faded more into obscurity because of the sign of the times in a way?
Yeah, I mean,
some of it might not fly too well today with the whole. It's quite stereotypical, isn't it, with the voodoo setting?
I mean, they could have addressed all of that, though. You can address those types of things. It's just the game in itself is fantastic, and I don't think the humor in it is that bad that it touches upon things that are massively sensitive.
Yeah,
that I've seen so far, anyway.
Also, it was made by a company called Beep Industries. Have you ever seen anything else by them? Like, I genuinely don't know. I might actually Google it quickly. I don't know if they've made anything else.
I don't know why, by my head, I had an image for a sequel, which is where Voodoo Vince ends up for some reason going like around the world. So it's just like each area is a different country, and then like doing voodoo stuff in different countries to get over being in the South.
You can just imagine him doing voodoo stuff in Nazi Germany, can't you?
I think this game might be set a bit after that.
Like Bill and Ted,
I might get things stopped.
Or if it's time travel, I guess, actually. Time travel via world travel as well, you know.
Well, that's what Blinks was all about, wasn't it? Time travel. So
Yeah. There's the priestess or whatever does like some weird voodoo magic, but creates like a portal which sucks Vince through time. It turns into like a time splitters game with like different areas or different countries.
maybe we should get together and create a sequel.
The lawyers might have something to say about the IP usage though.
I'm on the Beep website, which is not secure, by the way. They have 2 other games listed. One is Bartlow's Dread Machine. Anyone ever heard of that?
Nope.
And the other one's Scurvy Scallywags.
So who actually owns the IP, Ross? I don't think they would own the IP. I think they would probably just the producer.
Their website pretty much lately is showing off a lot of Voodoo Vince.
Yeah, but I think they're probably just the developers. I don't think they own the IP.
It must be Microsoft, I imagine.
I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft don't own the IP.
Let's see what Wikipedia has to say.
So I'm not seeing it anywhere else.
Microsoft currently owns Vince rights.
Sorry.
Published by Microsoft.
Yeah. So it's another thing they've got in the back catalogue. They could actually bring back and be pretty good.
Honestly, there's so much that Microsoft could bring back. I wish they would. I really do. I wish there was somebody I could talk to say this stuff will make us a fortune, but there's not.
I would argue there doesn't need to be another Forza Horizon for a while.
I would argue it doesn't need to be another Forza game for a while, but then compete against not GTA, Gran Turismo. So,
I mean, with Microsoft also owning now Activision, there's so many extra IPs they should also now be bringing back. So they could just have spin-off studios just to work on all these back catalog games that require sequels or remasters.
Just do a Voodoo Vince / Crash Bandicoot, not to get just mix that up. That'd be weird.
Voodoo Vince Links crossover.
Can you imagine giving the whole Activision Blizzard King buyout, plus all the original IP that they own? They could do a Smash Brothers-esque with all of those characters, and Voodoo Vince would be class in that, I think.
Yeah, with his psychic powers, using that on the enemies. Yeah,
I do actually think in PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale there was a character that hurt themselves to hurt people, and I can't think who it was.
They could probably also do their own version of Astrobot now. You know, have all the IPs they now have to show up on the.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much potential for it, but I don't know how much potential or how much appetite there is if it doesn't make money for Microsoft to do it.
Yeah, they'll shelve all the small stuff, bring back some of the bigger bits, but
I mean, with like some studios being shuttered or like staff being laid off, I'm guessing because of the cost of the merger, they probably need to stock the
the cost of the merger wasn't as it was expensive, but it was cash, which is something that Microsoft have in abundance. A bit like Nintendo. Nintendo have enough cash to sustain a loss for the next 100 years and still be in profit, or still be above the.
Still in the.
So it's not. I just think it's the shelving and stuff is. I don't know.
Glad to be of service.
Great. Well, it gets you off.
Maybe you two need to create your own personal podcast, and that would help him.
Creamy time, we call it.
Your local masturbatory aid.
Masturbatorium Monday. We can do it.
Back on topic.
Yeah. but yeah, I don't know why these IPs are left to rot on a shelf. I've been calling for it for must be coming up to 10 years until recently that Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen for me needed some extra stuff put into it, and it could have been rebooted. And thankfully, they've since yes, they're not doing Blood Omen, but they are doing Soul Reaver. I much preferred Blood Omen to Soul
It did get
Reaver.
a modern release though, so I mean, the original game it did get brought back at least.
Yeah, it's come back on. It's been re-released but it's not been remastered. But yeah, stuff like this, these IPs really they do need a new lease of life. I think. I don't know what everybody else thinks.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like it's not just Microsoft. It's like companies like, say, Konami, who have, or Sega, who have all these old IPs from like the 90s or the early noughts that just need to be brought back. Even if it's just like give us the original games that we could play them on modern hardware without.
They don't need to be like remastered or anything. But like if you were to say have the entire back catalogue of all this stuff that Microsoft owns, that would be like most people's childhood in one place.
Yeah, imagine
pull that on Game Pass, and I think you'll find more people will buy Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, like Sega keep doing those like Mega Drive compilations, whereas people going, okay, thank you, but after like what second, third, fourth time, it's like maybe do a Master System one, a Saturn one, a Dreamcast one, so like that, but with Microsoft IPs as well, the Xbox collection, the 360 collection.
There's a big push for Dreamcast and Saturn Minis as well, and there's so much IP out there that these companies could make a killing out of, but they just choose not to.
And then people complain when people go to emulation to play this old stuff because otherwise you have to spend how much on buying an original console and an original copy of the game, which the publisher or developer see nothing of anyway because it's all secondhand. So, but anyway,
it's a topic that can go on forever. It just goes. It's just annoying. That's all it is.
I mean,
it's
just. I'm glad with Voodoo Vince, it did get a remaster.
Yeah,
because
it's an odd one that they did allow them to remaster and the original studio to remaster it. They didn't get someone else in to do it.
Because I'm guessing you weren't aware of that when you picked it, that it had been remastered.
I wasn't. No, I was going to play it on there. Then I thought, okay, I'll look it up. I can't remember why I looked it up, and I was like, it's got remastered.
I on the episode, the live stream before, I looked it up when it got picked to see if it was available. So I did say then.
Yeah, I was annoyed it didn't have a remaster like physically, but
yeah, it's online only.
You don't expect anything physically from Xbox.
Digital, I mean, yeah.
I was about to say, did it not have a physical remaster? And then I remembered I bought it digitally. So yeah.
But to be honest, that'd be one that like Limited Run should pick up as an Xbox game. That'd be great.
I mean,
Limited Run do very, very little Xbox now. They own that relationship, but the amount that they do is very minimal.
Yeah, it's only the bigger stuff like the Persona stuff, the Yakuza stuff's getting it now, which is completely.
I bought something recently from them, but I can't remember what it was. I'll probably get it in about 12 years. But
Alan Wake 2 was that? Did they do an Xbox
version?
version?
No, they didn't do Xbox. I don't believe. Broken Sword, maybe.
They did the Castlevania ones.
I bought something from Limited Run recently that's Xbox, and I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I mean, I would not turn this into a Limited Run like debate. It's just when they started up, and it was games that would never have got a physical release otherwise because they were indie studios. Great. If it takes a while, that's the nature of the beast. But when it's games that you think would be AAA or published or made by, like for example, like Yakuza, like Sega, that's like a
So-
huge, massive, popular series. Why are they going to limited run to do the physical? That's the thing where I question.
They already exist.
They're all by Embracer now, so I've got a feeling they'll start producing more mainstream stuff. Embracer own massive amounts of IP. So I think we'll see a lot of remasters coming out, and they may go limited run, then get produced digitally, then get a physical release outside of limited run. But I don't think that's a viable business anymore to myself.
Because I said in a different WhatsApp group before, like, do you remember the good old days when you could buy physically a game the day the game was actually released? Like, what crazy times. But then the flip side of that is the way that, you would hope that if you buy a game after the fact, like what limited run do, that the physical print would be the most up-to-date version of that game. In other words, it will have on there all the day one bugs already patched out of it. But you're shaking your head, Paul, as if like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Like,
That's what limited run originally did.
Why would they do it? They'll take the first option they've got, and then you'll get the option to patch it later. That's the way that's the way things work now.
Red Art games.
But Red Art don't do the same thing that the Red Art games are very good, but they don't do the same thing that limited run do. I don't know where I was going with that.
The only one that I would consider a proper limited company, one that's not a meme or something now, is Super Rare. Like, they say there's this many copies. When it's sold out, it's gone.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
I mean, the ones I bought recently through Strictly Limited games have been like retro bits. They've done some Mega Drive like releases of games that were never brought out in the West, like shmups. And they were like, okay, there's this pre-order window. Once that pre-order closes, whatever quantity was pre-ordered, that's what's produced. Yeah. And that's it. So, which is...
Yeah. That's what limited run say they do, but they like get in about 4 times the amount in it.
Mine used to be just a set amount, wasn't it? And...
yeah, limited run it used to be it's like 2,000 per. It'd be like 2 sets of like 1,000 or 2 sets of 2,000. They do 2 runs, well, 2 releases in like 24 hours, and that'd be it.
I think I own 2 limited run games, and I bought them both off of Ross. I mean, I'm going back to Red Art games. I'm not slating them because 50% of my PlayStation 5 collection is Red Art games. They do some really, really good stuff, but they're in a different market to limited run, and nobody's going to pick up Voodoo Vince because, as Scott is still displaying, it's in that green case. And unfortunately, those green cases mean that the second, I think the second richest company in the world still own it, so you've got no chance of getting it off of them. Second, it keep bouncing between first and second. I don't know how my share price looks, but yeah. But yeah,
keep saying it's the richest, and it'll go up.
Public perception.
But yeah, it's one of them. It's a great, fantastic game. Deserves a lot more praise than it's had, I think. Personally,
it deserves to be played. It deserves to be remembered.
Yeah, 100%. Even if you can get it on the original Xbox and you own an original Xbox, or if you're emulating it, play it. It's amazing. From what I've played of it, it's a fantastic game.
To be honest, when I posted a picture saying I completed it on Instagram, there was a lot of people that come out saying that this should be played. This is so good. People have like missed this one.
Sorry.
So I say we should close this down and start looking to spin the wheel. Find what we get next. Horror themed one. Well, I do like the fact this is also quite a spooky themed game, really, if you think about it. So it's kind of worked quite well.
Voodoo.
Right, let's have a look.
Bloodborne comes up. Ollie's got something. No, it was it? It was Ollie that asked for Bloodborne, wasn't it?
It was,
Got
I think.
something to ask for. Answer for.
Right, I need to work out how to do this. I think I've got it. Right, is that it? Can you see that?
Yep.
Here goes.
Come on, Blood Omen.
There's Bloodborne gone. There's Ross's.
It's my pick again.
I'll take that.
Nightmare Creatures.
He
Okay.
fixed the wheel.
So, do you want to show a demo of that as well?
If I can find one.
You'd be able to YouTube Nightmare Creatures and then do the same.
I think this Nightmare Creatures is harder than Bloodborne.
You reckon?
Hands down. Hands down. From what I remember playing of it back in the day. It was brutal. Absolutely brutal. The only way I remember being able to even kill some of the enemies is to use the special razor blade thing that made you just absolutely decimate enemies. Like normal combat are just, yeah, so much harder than Bloodborne.
So, also, are we restricted to a particular port of the game? So, for those who don't know, it had PlayStation, N64, Windows.
Whichever port you want to play.
Yeah, I say it's anything. There's a Dreamcast one as well, and I think is the first one.
For anybody,
I think I've
for
got
anybody who's
Dreamcast
curious
and
as well, that weird title in the green is something to do with Eddie. The shit wankapoo graffiti crap. I don't know what it was, but it's all Eddie.
To be honest, I was a bit terrified of that coming up because I like to buy every game we play, and it's about £100. So. It's a Splatterhouse game, right? I can literally all the trailers and stuff is the worst qualities I can find here.
I think unless you've got this as well, this is quite an expensive game, isn't it now?
The sequel is this one isn't too bad.
So I own
I
own a unique copy of this on the PlayStation because I've got the US discs in the UK box. Bought them off of Dana. I didn't buy them off of Dana. Dana gave them me.
I'm pretty sure I own this. I put it on the wheel.
I
Right, I found a trailer that isn't as bad quality as all the others. So
I can't remember if I finished this. I know I played a lot of it. I'll have to check my saves.
tell me if that actually does go full screen.
Yeah.
Some sound.
What the?
Makes Assassin's Creed Syndicate look amazing.
It does look like PS1 Blood.
Pretty sure I wish Bloodborne had turned up now.
Be careful what you wish for.
picked this because I'd never finished it. So
I can't remember if I finished it. I'll check my saves. I know I got quite far in it. I remember it being hard.
to be honest, I've always wanted to play the N64 port, but it never came out in the UK, did it? I think it's US exclusive.
So I mean, I've got multiple systems that I could play it on, so it still looks like it's a game I'm going to hate. But...
What games do you like, Al? Come on.
I mean, just to put it out there, this is well out of Al's league. Well out of Al's league in playing this. There's no easy game here. There's no ponies, there's no horses.
He struggles with tiddlywinks.
Oh, it should be pretty easy. I bet there's places you can play this if you haven't got it.
To answer Dylan's question, I imagine it is a Western-made game. I would imagine, because it's not Sony exclusive, but I would imagine it was Western-made. I'll beat FIFA 2006. Don't know how you beat FIFA, but okay.
I played it, mate.
Don't do football games. If I was to play football games, that I'd play them the way I play in real life. You're getting double-footed to the shin every time.
Callisto Entertainment, so I think it's American.
I would imagine they are Western, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got our game.
So depending on where Ross puts his head on that chair, it looks like he's got Pikachu electric lightning bolts sticking out his head. It's amazing.
Okay, he's just rubbing in because he knows I don't have that. Impossible. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to host another stream.
I'll get back to it.
This is what happened to Eddie, wasn't it, last time? He ended up doing a couple in a row.
I'm just going to point out, every game that I put up has never been chosen. It's amazing.
Same. I hosted because Ollie couldn't do it.
I thought most people had a game picked now, but obviously
No.
To be honest, when I looked into it, we haven't got that many games into this. Like, we're just this might be hitting double figures now.
Yeah, I don't think we do it. We do it one a month, don't we? Generally, so it's
We try one a month.
yeah.
There was that one that went a couple of months.
Yeah.
It had been Donkey Kong. But, yeah. So I think that's a good time to end this. We'll see you in a month and a bit.
Yeah.
I'll,
Yeah.
We'll get together again.
back here again. So yeah, that was a good one again. Just let's say goodbye. That'll do. I'm no good at starting. I'm no good at ending. So
Where can
have fun,
people find everyone who's been in the stream? Link your channels.
yeah, you can do that. I'm not going to link nothing. You're already here.
This is your channel.
Anyway, yeah, I'll put links in the description when it's a proper video and all that jazz. So right, have fun, people. Gonna bugger off.
Boy.
Bye.